What's up, everybody? Eric here with another EWE Reviews. Before I get started, I just want to say sorry for the month off. I actually got sick and was in the hospital for a week. And then the past 2 weeks, I've just been recovering, so sorry about the delay there. I'm going to try and get back to reviews now. We'll see how many I take out per week, but I have a couple of them that I'm trying to get to. I'll put a list of my first couple that I'm going to be working on at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I'm glad to be back. It was a rough time there, but I'm glad that I'm feeling a lot better, and I really want to get back to this. So, this review is going to be for the new Wonka movie. Before we get into that, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm really trying to get back into this, get the channel to grow. But yeah, this is for Wonka. So, the genre of this movie, it's a musical fantasy film. And just know, it's a musical. Think about the original Willy Wonka. I know there was music in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but this one, it's more of a prequel to the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. This version, I'll talk about it in the good and the bad. But yeah, this version seems more like it's a prequel to that movie. This has a PG rating and it was released on December 15, 2023. The budget was $125 million. And as of December 18, 2023, the box office is $151.4 million. So far, so good. I suspect this movie is going to do well. They chose the right time to put it out. This is December. We're going into the holiday, the two holidays. I think this is a movie people are really going to be watching, so I think this is going to do really well. The director for this is Paul King. The cast includes Timothy Chalamet, Kala Lane, Keegan-Michael Key, Patterson Joseph, Hugh Grant, and Olivia Colman. And the runtime of this film is 116 minutes. It's a little more on the longer side than I would have liked, but we'll talk about it more a little bit. The format that I watched this in was in Dolby because, of course, I love watching stuff in Dolby. And does this have a credit scene? Yes, it does. So as soon as the credits start rolling, do not leave your seats. You'll be seeing something really cool at the beginning right there. All right, so let's talk about the plot of this film. So with the dreams of opening up a chocolate shop in the city, a young Willy Wonka tries to open up his own shop. However, he finds out that there's a chocolate cartel of a cartel of chocolate. It's so funny to even say. I'm sorry, guys. It's just like the villains are a cartel dealing chocolate. Just okay. And it's up to Wonka to change the industry and make his dreams a reality. It's a really cool film, guys. So let me go into my, again, this is going to be a spoiler-free review. I might have not actually said that, but we'll go into my thoughts. But before I start just talking about the good and the bad, I'll just say this movie is, if you remember the original Willy Wonka, it was like, it's one of those, like, you kind of suspend disbelief a lot of times. And yeah, but like, it's so wacky and weird. And you're just like, does this make sense? No, but screw it. Let's enjoy this. So let me start with my thoughts on the movie. I'll start off with the bad. It's a musical, and I get that it's a musical, but I think it had a few too many musical numbers. Like, maybe I would have made them a tad bit shorter or cut one or two of them out, just because I felt like the movie got a little bit on the longer side than I think it needed to be. Like, by the end, I was looking at my watch, and I was just like, you know what, this movie is starting to, like, I already had to go to the bathroom. I was like, come on, can we just hurry this up? We know where this is going. Another issue with this movie is that there's not enough Hugh Grant. He is the Oompa Loompa, and he was one of the best parts of the movie. I was like, oh my god, Hugh Grant just is awesome. He's not too much in the first half of the movie. He's mostly second half. But when he gets there, it's just like, yes, just give me more of him. And then another thing with this movie is that you have to kind of just, like I said earlier, you kind of got to suspend disbelief. Like, the laws of physics do not exist in this world. A lot of stuff does not make sense, but you just got to go with it, roll with it, and it's fine. You have more fun when you just say, screw it. And then another thing, it felt weird, and this I think has to do more with the villains. The amount that they talked about killing people, it didn't work for me in a PG setting. I was just like, you know what? For a PG movie, that's not really one of what I hear. I know it's like the chocolate cartel. It just didn't work for me. I was just like, you guys are saying that you're going to kill people way too much. Like, it was a lot. So I didn't necessarily like that part of the film. All right, but let's move on now to the good. And there's a lot of good in this film. This version of Willy Wonka to me was a younger version of the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka. So to me, it worked really well. I thought Timothy Chalamet did a really good job of like making me feel hopeful. He was just making like, this is the chocolate man. This is when you remember some of those songs from like the original Willy Wonka movie. It's like the chocolate man's the one that gives you like feelings of happiness and stuff like that. And that's the way that this Willy Wonka, what he believes in, like chocolate can change the world and stuff like that. So I was just like, you know what, this is really cool. I really like the way that they're doing this. It felt like they took the essence of what the Gene Wilder movie was and put it here. They also use some verses and things from his movie. They do use some of the songs, but I think they cut parts out because they felt shorter. Um, and then the chocolate creations. I wasn't as impressed with the chocolate creations in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I'm not sure why. Actually, let me just talk about that for a second. So I didn't hate Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I actually thought that it was really good. However, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory to me felt more like a Tim Burton film, where it's like this wasn't really Willy Wonka. This is more, oh, this is a Tim Burton film, and it's very similar to all the stuff Tim Burton does, especially with Johnny Depp. So to me, it was just like it felt more like this is a Tim Burton style feeling, and not what I felt with the original Willy Wonka. So that's why it's like I never put that one as high, because it's just like that's a Tim Burton film. It's just different. It's in its own category. It's not really Willy Wonka. Now, this one, it wasn't like that. I was like, oh, the chocolate creations, all this stuff. It just felt like Willy Wonka to me. So that was really cool. And the performances that they did put, like they get you invested into the film. Like you want to see him succeed. You want to see what happens with all these characters. And it was a fun time. I really enjoyed my time there. I was smiling, I was feeling stuff. I was just like, you know what, this is great. I really enjoy this movie. And then let's talk about Hugh Grant for a second. Like I said, there was not enough of him, but when he was there, it was just like, dude, you are stealing the show. I want to see more of you. He was funny. He would do stuff that I was just like, you know what? If you got your own, like if they make a sequel to this, which I'm not sure if they really need it, it would be fun to see Hugh Grant come back and use use more of him and stuff like that. I really think that they have something there that they could actually mess with. And then the Chocolate Cartel, they were a lot of fun. They were dumb because they were villains that really sucked at what they did. Really, like it was hard to believe they got away with as much stuff as they did for so long because they seemed really dumb, but yet it worked. And it's like it's one of those things like I just said, like you got to suspend your disbelief at times with this, and it's just like, you know what, just roll with it. But I was having fun with the Chocolate Cartel. I was just like, this is wild. I don't get why you guys went this route, but screw it. Let's just have some fun with it. And then Willy Wonka's group, because of course he's gonna make friends and stuff like that. His supporting cast with him, the group that he's working with, I thought they all worked well together, and it was fun to see them work as a team. I was just like, oh, this is cool. This is a side of Willy we've never really seen. Because if you think about it, in the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, his team is the Oompa Loompas. He doesn't really handle with other humans. And then in Charlie and Chocolate Factory, same thing, doesn't really mess with other people. So it was cool to see that here, where it's like, oh, okay, this is a different type of Willy Wonka. We're actually seeing him have these human interactions, how he's with people, and I really thought that was really well done. And then, like I said, this is so much like the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory that it's just like I can't. I kind of wish we could see a middle movie, but I don't think it's going to be needed because I want to see that transition of when did he like separate himself from the world, but at the same time, like that might be the pressing. But it was really cool that they at least put the thought in my head of maybe I wanted that. And that's something cool where you're like, do I want a sequel for this? The fact that they're even making me question it says like, oh, I probably do want to see more. So that was really cool. I got to give them credit for that. So let's actually move on to my score, guys. And I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10 for great. I know other places are probably going to give it like a 7 or something like that, saying that it's good. But I actually thought this was pretty great. I'm not the biggest fan of musicals, to be honest. And this is one where I was hooked in for the entire movie. So for me to like a musical, that tells me, you know, this is a really good musical. I definitely recommend you go watch this, especially if you've seen the old Willy Wonka movie. I feel like you're going to get the spirit of that here. And think it's a really good story. I really liked what they did. You feel for him. He gets an origin that was like, it's pretty good. I liked his origin in this way more than I liked his I didn't even really like his origin in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I thought the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory one was a bit too, what's the word I'm looking for? A bit too predictable, and the darkness in it was more like, oh, he has daddy issues, and it didn't work for me. Oh yeah, his dad was a dentist, and I'm like, that's not really. So he's just doing became a chocolatier just to spite his dad. That's what it felt like. While here I'm like, oh no, he's doing this because this is what he loves, and he wants to like create and bond people with chocolate. I'm like, this is really cool. This is the type of Willy Wonka story I've been wanting. So yeah, I definitely recommend you go watch this. So as I said, I'm going to do a couple of reviews upcoming. I don't know which days I'm going to get these out, but watch out for these coming out soon. Godzilla Minus One. I highly recommend you go watch that movie if you can. It's subtitled, but it's so good. It might be one of the best Godzilla movies ever. The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I saw that one right before I got sick. So when I was going to do that review is when I started feeling sick, and sadly never got to finish it. Aquaman 2, which I'm going to watch this weekend. Same thing for the Iron Claw. I'm also going to do two show reviews. Archer Season 14, the final season, and Rick and Morty Season 7 that just wrapped up. So those are going to be my upcoming reviews. I don't know which order I'm going to do them. It's going to be this one, of course, coming out first. I'm hoping to go to Godzilla Minus One and then Rick and Morty probably. That way I can have those three out by this plus those two out this week. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm glad to be back. I hope you guys are happy for me to keep doing these reviews. So yeah, I'll talk to you later. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, let's see what more stuff I'm going to be reviewing this year. All right, bye. Talk to you later.